All right, good morning everyone. Welcome to part 3 of this single turbo install. Right now Lewis is wrapping everything up. We're getting the front end back on. We have the BMS transcooler mounted. All the lines are connected with all the appropriate block offs in place. There's our lines. Looks like the intercooler and radiator support are back on. Just connecting the AC lines back. We have the turbo inlet in, coolant reservoir in. The one thing we are going to do is relocate this washer reservoir spout. Probably put it right over here. And then I did get I think the only thing we're waiting on is the max solenoid, but I do have the push lock, the metal push lock fittings here, which we're going to attach to the wastegate. We still have to drill our intake manifold and attach our boost reference to that. So I'll set you guys up on a time lapse. The only other thing we're going to do to this car is put the BC coilovers on, along with some front suspension components that we received. So I'll set you guys up on a time lapse here, and this should be the last part as far as the turbo install goes, and then we can start our tuning process. All right, update time. Pretty much the front end is back on. We have the core support on. I got it hooked up to a charger right now. We are bleeding the coolant system. We got some fresh coolant in there. We got some fresh power steering. Everything's connected minus the fan. That's the last thing to go in. I just hooked up the MHD adapter. I got a screenshot of his DME info, so I'm gonna send that over to Doc Vu right now. We're gonna get our base map in. We should be able to start it later today. Then all we have left to do is fill our trans fluid. And that's it, and then we can start it up. And then obviously the last thing is we're gonna do the coilover install, but that's not related to the Speedtech install. So we already have our new control arms in. Suspension is freshened up. All we need is our BC coils to be installed. But there it is. It's good to go. She just needs a little charge. The battery's been kind of dead. Got all of our DME hooked up. We have our grounds connected. Oh, that's the last thing. Also, we are waiting for the max solenoid to come in. I think I do have a spare one laying around that we might be able to use, but doesn't need to be hooked up for the first start. All right, so here's where we are. Exhaust is on. Front suspension is all done. Coilovers are in on the front. We just got to do the rear. Everything's connected on the motor. We got fresh oil in it. The JB4 is connected. I hit up my boy Doc Vu. He sent me the base map instantly. So we are on a back end flash for the single turbo. I went ahead and upgraded the firmware on JB4. So we're on single turbo firmware. I got all the settings correct. I went ahead already and disconnected the injectors and coil packs and primed the turbo, so we're pretty much ready for the first start up here. Just double checking. Yeah, we have oil, we have coolant, we have power steering, Exhaust is on, everything's connected. I guess all we have left to do is start it. So we're gonna be the guest of honor, Mr. Lewis.
Oh, it started?
Start it up. Let's hear. Oh, and this turbo does have the T51R mod. So you already know she's gonna be making all the jet noises on startup. Here. There is no max solenoid connected, so none of the wastegates are connected. So we're not gonna drive it yet. We're just gonna get the first startup. Hear what it sounds like.
Oh yeah. She's screaming. She started right out.
Yeah, she sounds great. Drumming. Just burning off some old oil on the manifold.
My greasy ass hands.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So first startup was a success. We're just gonna wrap up the suspension work on the car, and then probably part 4 is gonna be us doing some logging on the street. I'm gonna try to get it on the dyno, see what kind of power she's making. But yeah. Oh, it's got a vacuum leak because we don't have the line connected. Yeah. We drilled the intake manifold. You can hear air hissing, but we don't have the goose line connected. So yeah, we'll wrap it up on part 4. So hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe. This was part 3 of Speedtech bottom mount single turbo install on a 335 Xi. All right, so I was going to do a part 4, but part 3, I was putting everything back together. It was pretty short, so I figured I'll just combine both videos. She's all put together, as you can see. Front end is on, all our covers are on underneath. We added a transmission fluid to fill the extra capacity now that it's got the trans cooler.
We filled the front diff.
Yeah, we filled up the front diff. We got our Mac solenoid in. This is where I like to mount them. And then I got these push lock fittings right here. I left a little bit of slack in them just because the motor will flex very slightly, so we don't want these to pull out. And then I got this DEI fire sleeve protected here just to keep the lines from melting, since it's right by the wastegate there. There's going to be a lot of heat. So we have our boost reference teed in to the bottom of the wastegate here, and this line goes all the way and plugs into the intake manifold right there. And then our other connection is just right here. So all that's plugged in. The one last thing that we have to get is a piece of tubing. We're going to leave the flapper on here and remove this flex part here and just connect the tubing and vent it to atmosphere. We'll probably locate it somewhere down below by the car. So we're gonna go drive it to the store, make sure everything's good, grab our hose, come back, put the hose on, and then we can put our engine cover back on along with our cowling, and then we'll go take it out. And we're gonna be doing some logs. So we're gonna start off on map 1. That's what Doc Boo wants us to do. We have all of our settings already in the JB4, so we're gonna do a log from 3K to 5K or 6K, whatever he wants. Make sure everything's good there. We'll get it tuned. I'll probably have this thing up to like 24, 25 pounds, just to have it, you know, be reliable. It's gonna be his daily driver. So we'll make some power with it and keep it reliable. But there she is. Man, this thing sounds crazy. So we just went to the store. We got our heater hose to vent the crankcase pressure on the valve cover. We're gonna go back to the shop, install that. We have to lower the rear coils just a little bit because it's got kind of like a weird rake going on. So we're gonna do that, and then we'll go back out and grab our logs. But here's a couple sound clips so you guys can hear what it sounds like. No lights on the dash. Everything seems to be working good. Single turbo got the best sounds. Nothing beats it. Ain't no twin car out there that's gonna sound as good as a single. That's it. And I'm pretty sure this exhaust, we were looking at it, they deleted the rear section and they put a M Sport or M Performance rear mufflers on. So it's a little bit louder than stock. Still has the secondary Katzen, and we do have a recirculated wastegate. So we're not gonna get any like crazy screaming sounds during wide open throttle, but everything is gonna sound nice out the exhaust. So. All right, we'll check back at the shop once we're done putting the PCV stuff in, and we'll go out and do some logs.
And lunch.
All right, so we're gonna end the video here for part 3. We weren't able to get any logs. We did a small little repair to the transmission line. Had like a little tiny pinhole, so we replaced that. Now it's the end of the day, and we just started getting some light rain and sleet, so can't do any logs tonight. But maybe I'll dedicate a part 4 to the actual tuning part of it. Walk you guys through how I deal with DocVu, the proper way to send logs, and the adjustments that we make. Maybe we'll take a look at the logs each time we do them. I can read them to an extent. You know, I'm not a tuner. That's why I let him do all the tuning. But I can read them to an extent, and we can tell whether or not the car is healthy or not. So I'll try and get some driving clips. I'm gonna take it home tonight and make sure everything's good. We don't have any leaks or anything. And I'll put in some driving clips tonight, but that's gonna be it for part 3, and we'll do part 4 tuning process next. We got some cars pulled in the shop now because we're supposed to get some light snow tonight, but we'll see what happens. We got nice little beautiful G80. We're gonna be doing some suspension work on, and doing a little clutch delay valve work. Delete to that thing. It's a manual transmission. So, all right, we'll jump in the car now and get some sound clips of it driving. Sounds excellent, my boys. Excellent. So I was driving this home, and you know, it kind of like stopped raining, still a little bit wet out, but this thing is just impossible to drive. So I don't know if you can tell in the video, but nah, you can't really tell in the video. It's all over the road. First of all, tires are like bald in the rear. and it's an X-Drive car. So I'm gonna have to put a set of spare wheels and tires on this and go get it aligned. Because there's something very weird going on the rear end of this car. Like sometimes it wants to go left, sometimes it wants to go right. Right there. When I let go of the gas, it's like doing this. Really weird. Not sure what it is. Anyhow, as far as the, I was able to get one log in just to make sure it was good, and everything's perfect. It's on wastegate, which I think is about like 15 or 16 pounds. So we're good on the tune. If anything, Doc Vu is just gonna have me put it up to the next map, do his changes, send another log. But before we can do all that, tomorrow we are going to throw a set of spare tires and wheels on this thing so we can get a proper log, or get it aligned and do proper logs, because otherwise we're gonna kill ourselves driving this thing the way it is now. Alright, so this will be the end. Brought it back to the shop. I'm gonna leave it parked here because it's way too dangerous to drive. But she does sound good. I'll give her that. Not too bad, not too bad. Look at that clean dash. No lights on the dash at all. Like the way it should be. Alright guys, we'll end the video here. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next video.